Hello there, my name is Mark Oremland and I am the owner of this DC-3 aeroplane that you can see behind me. So here you have her, my DC-3, we call her the Jean Batten Clipper, Airscapade DC-3 Jean Batten Clipper, named after the lady you can see on the tail there, who was in fact the most famous of the New Zealand pioneering aviators. I bought this beautiful old piece of metal, actually built in 1942, so she's 75 years old this year, and so the project was to fly her from England out to New Zealand, which is in fact what we did 5 years ago, 2012. It was a very dramatic trip. A phenomenal experience. Not sure if you can see here on the globe the black line of the route that we took. In fact, we followed the route of Jean Batten back in 1936 from England to New Zealand. She was only 27 when she did this trip, and well, she was quite a stunning lady, and I think that helped considerably with her financing of her trips. There she is. And while we're up here, we can take a quick peek at the cockpit, more or less as it was, a few modern additions. So in preparing for this trip, I needed to find people to come along with us, and so I did a couple of the important air shows. I was based in France at the time, and so I did the air show at La Ferté-Alais, which is one of the most important French historic heritage aviation air shows. And I had hoped, of course, to find lots of participants in this actually turned out to be 23-day wonderful trip halfway around the world. But in fact, the only person I did find at that show was this remarkable young lady who was only about 25 at the time, so not far off the age of Jean Batten that you can see behind me here. And that was, of course, Catheline Leoni. From the moment we first met, I was astounded at her enthusiasm for aviation. She'd financed her own flying lessons to get the private license to start off with, and was a wealth of knowledge on aviation history, in particular the aviatrixes, women who had done a lot of the pioneering aviation, and she knew the Jean Batten story back to front. This was absolutely amazing, and it was clear from that moment that we were going to embark on this world trip halfway around the world together. In fact, as it turned out, Catheline was air hostess aboard, working with me, serving coffee, doing all the 1001 things we did on that marathon trip. She was the blog writer. We had about 500 people following us online every day. She was the photographer and developed a wonderful photo book of 100 pages. And she did the filming. She actually shot about 5 hours of filming with a much more professional piece of equipment than my telephone here. And those 5 hours were converted by a professional into a charming little 45-minute documentary about our trip around the world in this DC-3. Catheline has fulfilled a number of very, very exciting dreams in her aviating history or background, and if you're watching this, then I guess you're fully aware of her latest project to fly the length of South America, if I'm not mistaken. And I find that rather exciting because there is a total link with Jean Batten, Before Jean flew off to New Zealand, over Asia and Australia, she also flew to South America. And so the connection is a very, very strong one. She's followed the route, that is, Catheline has followed the route to New Zealand and now aiming for the connection with South America. Small statue of Jean Batten outside the airport. There she is, a remarkable woman, as is Catheline Leoni. And here is the Percival gull that Jean Batten flew in 1935 to South America and in 1936 to New Zealand. Now obviously Catheline is not going to be flying from Europe or England to South America, rather flying around South America, but it's definitely a link again, as she had with the flight out from England to New Zealand in the DC-3 following Jean Batten's route. So this is quite special, hanging in the airport at Auckland's International Airport, named after Jean Batten. So I hope that this short collection of video shots will show you how I feel that Catheline will really be able to continue her pioneering aviation spirit that she's had for many years, and hope that she has a wonderful trip in South America.
I don't care what the weatherman says. When the weatherman says it's raining, you'll never hear me complaining. I'm certain the sun will shine.
I don't care how the weather vane points. When the weather vane points too gloomy, it's gotta be sunny to me when your eyes look into mine.
Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Gosh, y'all get up, how'd they get so lit up? Gosh, y'all get up, how'd they get that size?
Golly gee,
when you turn those heaters on,
woe is me.